The marina was almost empty when Hassan arrived, the water flat and gray like it was holding its breath. He had come early to avoid the crowds and to think. Mornings were the only time his head felt quiet since his wife passed. By noon, the noise of life rushed back in, bills, school calls, questions from his daughter that had no clean answers. Hassan worked nights repairing generators and old appliances. During the day, he took small jobs wherever he could find them. Boats were not his specialty, but engines were engines. Metal spoke the same language everywhere if you listened long enough. That morning, a white yacht sat apart from the others, too polished, too perfect. A woman stood beside it with her arms crossed, heels clicking against the dock as she paced. Her sunglasses were large, her posture sharp, like someone used to being obeyed. When Hassan walked past, she looked him up and down, her eyes pausing on his worn shoes and oil-stained hands. "Are you another engineer?" she asked, her tone already tired. "No," Hassan replied honestly. "I fix things." She laughed once, short and dry. 30 engineers came before you." 30. "If you are so smart, then fix my boat." The word stung, but Hassan did not react. He saw frustration behind her sharpness, something close to desperation. He nodded and stepped closer, asking permission before touching anything. She waved him off like it no longer mattered. The engine room smelled of fuel and salt. Hassan closed his eyes for a moment and listened. Not with his ears, but with memory. His father had taught him this as a boy, back when they repaired fishing motors by the river to earn dinner. "Do not rush," his father used to say. "The problem will introduce itself." He ran his fingers along the lines, tapped gently, checked what others might have overlooked. He noticed a small vibration, barely there, a rhythm that did not belong. The issue was not the engine itself but a misaligned intake valve causing pressure to fight itself. Hassan adjusted it slowly, carefully. 30 minutes passed. The woman checked her phone repeatedly, clearly unimpressed. "Try now," Hassan said finally. She turned the key. The engine started smoothly, purring like it was relieved to breathe again. The woman froze. She tried again. Perfect. Silence filled the space between them. "How?" she asked, pulling off her sunglasses. Her eyes were tired. "Human. You listen to people," Hassan said gently. "I listen to the machine." She stared at him for a long moment. Then she laughed, this time softer. "What do I owe you?" Hassan shook his head. "Nothing. Just needed the practice." She insisted, pulling out her phone to transfer money, but Hassan refused. He thought of his daughter waiting at home, of dinner he would still manage somehow. Pride mattered more today. The woman watched him walk away, something unsettled now in her expression. 2 days later, Hassan received a call from an unknown number. He ignored it. Then it rang again. "This is Nadia Rahman," the voice said when he answered. "You fixed my boat." Hassan remembered the yacht, the sharp voice, the tired eyes. "I want to thank you properly," she continued. "Please come to my office." Hassan hesitated but agreed. Her office overlooked the city, glass and light everywhere. Nadia was different here. No sunglasses. No sharp edges. Just a woman carrying a quiet weight. She told him the story he had not expected. The boat belonged to her late husband. He had built his empire from the sea and died the same way, a sudden heart failure aboard that very yacht. After his death, nothing on it worked. Engineers failed, not because they were incapable, but because she was angry. She had treated them like problems instead of people. "When you refused money," she said, "it reminded me of who I used to be before wealth taught me fear." She offered Hassan a job, managing maintenance across her shipping company. It paid more than he had ever earned. It came with health coverage, stable hours, and respect. Hassan thought of his daughter again. Of bedtime stories interrupted by worry. Of promises he wanted to keep. He accepted. Months passed. Hassan thrived, not because of the money, but because he was trusted. Nadia visited the docks often now, asking questions, learning names. The sharp woman softened. The quiet man stood taller. One evening, Hassan invited Nadia to his modest home for tea. His daughter served biscuits proudly, explaining how her father fixed anything that was broken. Nadia smiled with tears in her eyes. Sometimes kindness looks small, like turning a wrench or listening closely. Sometimes it changes lives without making noise. At the marina, the white yacht still gleamed, but now it was no longer a monument to loss. It was a reminder that intelligence is not about titles or numbers. It is about patience, humility, and the courage to see value where others look past it. And for Hassan, it all began with a single moment when he chose to listen instead of proving anything at all.